We'll see.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so first of all, this is like a really big fandom and like a fan base, and I was wondering like how you guys feel about the big jump from going into a franchise where there's already a really big like fandom involved with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get welcomes like we had last night with a bunch of screaming girls and handmade signs and all that.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I feel like for most of the time we're in LA or wherever we're at, we're just kind of like reading scripts and we're just so concentrated on getting the next project or working on set. So it's nice when you kind of leave that bubble and you do realize that there's a lot of fans out there that are excited for the work you're doing, and I think that's a nice perk of what we do.
Yeah. It is. And I guess we've been asked a lot of questions about the pressure of kind of, the expectation of fans, because with something that has a lot of exposure and success, everyone has their kind of attachment to it, and there's purists and people who are really loyal to like the themes in the book, and if you mess those up, then you're not going to make too many friends. But I think for us, it's just been about, it hasn't been about worrying about any of that stuff. I mean, everyone's been really supportive, and it seems like everyone's really excited for it, and we're proud of the movie, so it's all positive.
That's great. That's great. You said in a previous interview that you were trying to make Peter hard to hate. How are you each trying to bring your character to life? Like, I know a lot of the characters tend to branch off from the book, and they add like their own kind of background that you can kind of see. How did you guys do that? Like, what I guess were you kind of built on their motives for being the way they are?
Yeah, I mean, I think Peter in the first book is pretty like one-dimensional. He's just this kid who says stiff all the time, and he's always like, just kind of being mean for no reason. And I love what Veronica did with him, the next two books. He really, you see that he really just doesn't like himself. He's really not comfortable with the person that he's become. He doesn't really know how to escape that, because he almost feels like he just has to be, mean, at this point. So for me, it was just kind of, trying to make him likable, because nobody just wakes up and is like, I'm going to be a mean person today. It comes from somewhere. So for me, it was just trying to figure out, where is that coming from, and why is Peter this way?
Yeah.
And for all of Peter's princesses out there, I just feel like I owed it to them.
Yeah.
With Eric, it was, not too dissimilar in a sense. I mean, you always have to find a truth with a character, and I don't ever get into a role judging, who I'm playing. I think that's that's kind of getting off on the wrong foot. And if it's easy for me to just say, oh well, he's just this like dick who like does this because well then there's kind of nothing to build on. But I think it's quite clear that there's a pretty heavy amount of insecurity there, with this kind of inferiority complex with Four, and but he also kind of he as is often the case with someone who's kind of arrogant or cocky or something like that, it often stems out of an insecurity. And I think he has a genuine interest in the initiates and trying to get them to the place they need to be, but yeah, his kind of his tough, hard-ass approach to that is just because he thinks he's pretty hard, or wants to kind of present that anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Peter and Eric are villainous characters. Did you?
No.
They're misunderstood.
No, we're misunderstood.
The
worst words about them.
Did you guys draw on any specific characters, like in other movies, for inspiration to portray being a villain?
No. I mean, I would not exactly. What I will say is that I love, it's like Philip Seymor Hoffman in Mission Impossible. I love just how much joy he took in causing, Tom Cruise pain. And so my favorite villains are the ones who just really enjoy it, and have fun in that skin. So yeah, that was something that I tried to keep, present, was, Peter having, some fun in that and making her kind of squirm.
Do you guys do your own stunts?
Absolutely.
So you guys like hit girls?
No.
No, he's a method actor. He was hitting girls all over.
Yeah. No, respect women. I was raised by women. Honestly, like, I was raised, I had 2 older sisters who used to, beat me up all the time.
So it was time that,
Yeah, so there's time for them to get theirs, yeah. No, but, like, the knife throwing and stuff, when we film that, we're throwing real knives. The point where we're running on the train, I mean, that's real. Shailene actually hurt herself pretty bad the one time we were filming that train scene. She, like, tripped on the track and hit her face pretty good. And got banged up a little bit. Yeah, some stunts, I'm like, yeah, where's the stunt double? Like, what are we talking about? Like, who's running on this train? They're like, you are. Like, all right, let's go.
What other scenes were like that, where you're like, stunt double, please?
I mean, mostly that, maybe like, I took like a bad fall or something. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I had a stunt double every time my character had to eat cake. Because I was like on a no carb kind of thing. So I was like, I'm not doing the cake today. So they brought in my huge fat stunt double. I was like, yes. Cake. I'm like, all right, cool, man. His name was Gary. He was a nice guy.
How did you get involved with this film? Like, what drew you to the script and the role?
It started off with a series of conversations with Neil Berger, our director, and the producers, and just kind of, I guess, investing in the world and looking at, I had no knowledge of the novels. I didn't even know they existed. It just, I hadn't heard of it. And then just started to kind of, look into that and read some material, and then read a script, and it started to look like a pretty cool idea. I mean, there was some great people already cast. I was a fan of Shailene's, and when you hear Kate Winslet's doing something, it obviously elevates the kind of, it puts a certain kind of brand on it already, and so it was intriguing. And then just looking at the character, I thought it was it was an opportunity to go back and play a villain. I hadn't done it for a couple of films, and have some fun with it within a world that I hadn't kind of played in before.
Yeah, for me, I was not aware of the books or anything, and this just kind of gave me an opportunity to do some more like action stuff, more physical kind of roles. And I literally just finished this movie called Awkward Moment, and I did this comedy, and then right before that I did the Spectacular Now with Shailene. So I was just looking for something a little more like, I didn't care about being like funny in a movie. I'd just rather kind of work out and get in shape and shoot somebody in the face. So I really just wanted to do a movie where I could like shoot somebody. Yeah.
What do you like about the series as a whole? Like, why do you think it's such a big hit with the young adult audience?
Well, I think Shailene's her character's a great role model. We had this girl in here earlier. She was like, I love how this young, female YA heroine. She's not snarky. There's like nothing like, bitchy about her. She's really just, like this sweet girl who kind of is forced to become this, this hero because she is this special breed of person. And she, a lot of people could be a divergent and they could, just resist that. She could fall into, one of the factions and do that. But she's not content with that. And yeah, I think it's just a nice, representation of being comfortable in your own skin and being proud of that.
Mm. I think her plight, is interesting to track as well. Like it's, I just think Veronica's created a really, interesting world that kind of, no matter who you are, you can find it pretty easy to invest in. I have friends who've read the books since, or like my mom, for instance, or whatever, and it's just like people, people can't put them down, because we want this character to kind of triumph. That's what Veronica's set up really well.
And Theo's just a really hot dude. She's like,
Changing gears for a bit. Obviously, you're both in very high-profile next movies. How are you preparing for those, and how did that help? How did you prepare for this movie, and how does it help you prepare for your next roles as Reed Richards and Kyle Reese? Can you speak a little about that?
Yeah, and I'm just going to be honest and say that the there's been very, very little preparation for Kyle Reese, so I can't really say that anything to do with Eric has informed that in any way. And to be honest, it's been some time since, you know, we were actually doing this. So you know, whilst it's great to be talking about it and all that, you know, in conjunction with it coming out, I couldn't tell you how it's going to affect my prep for Terminator. That's going to be a whole nother, you know, it's going to be a crazy big thing that's going to require a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm currently trying to lose 20 pounds, so
Better get on
I'm
it,
hungry.
Yeah, for me, I mean, the cast just kind of came together, and there was a scheduling conflict with me with Fantastic Four and Insurgent. So I didn't really know if I was going to be able to do Fantastic Four up to about a week ago. So I'm going to go down to Baton Rouge in a couple of weeks, and then, you know, start looking through the script and get on that, but just stretching. Just
So
get,
you've not
just
seen,
get used to that.
neither of you have seen the script yet?
Oh, no, absolutely, I've seen the script. I wouldn't sign on to anything without
No.
without a script, even something as cool as Fantastic Four.
Well, as far as Divergent, going back to Divergent, what is your favorite scene as far as they came to life on the screen, on the big screen? What was your favorite scene?
I haven't seen it yet. I loved when I
Mom hasn't
stabbed
seen
Edward
it.
in the eye. I'm really looking forward to that scene.
It's not rated.
I know, I hear it's not.
But we did film it. That scene's on the cutting room
I know,
floor.
I'm like,
Huh?
I
That
was
they
so
cut that?
disappointed. Yeah, why they
Yeah.
cut it?
I just think that Edward was not as big of a presence in this book.
Presence.
And that
Yeah.
they probably weren't gonna address him coming back as like head of the faction list, you know, in the second book maybe.
Right.
But I don't know, because when we filmed that scene, he was like, his scream when it happened, because, you know, we're all sleeping and stuff, or I'm not sleeping because I just stabbed him, so I'm just like chilling. And then and you know, they did the stab, and the prosthetic looked so cool.
Yeah,
And
it
it was
did.
really, honestly, they might have cut it because it was too graphic. Like,
Maybe
it was
we'll have
really,
it on the DVD when it comes out of the.
yeah, I mean,
Hopefully.
were you there that day when he was screaming?
Yeah.
It was like this blood-curdling scream. It was actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. Like, relax.
What about you? Is there another one or?
A scene that stands out for me, look, I loved, I don't know, yeah, it's tough, it's tough to pull apart.
You like the scene with Zoe.
Oh, as far as shooting it, that was fun, throwing her off the bridge. It was harder than I thought it would be. We tried to do it without a harness one day. I was like, nah, we'll do it for real. Like, she's tiny. And she nearly ripped my arm off. But I don't know, I like all the stuff a lot of the stuff that I wasn't involved in was really cool to see come together. Like, even just that initial, that kind of shot of all the different kids going to the ceremony in their different, you know, get up and all that. It was like, that was a part of the world that I didn't really get to see because I wasn't working.
We shot that scene at a bank.
Oh,
It was like the most unglamorous, it was a bank that they like built, you know, the 5
Down on
doors on.
Michigan Ave, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that they just put a sign over. Yeah, yeah. All the empty people are like, hey. Like, are you guys drunk? What's going on? Free love. It's cool. I dig it.
So could you, as far as the competition between Peter and Eric, as far as you and Theo, could you take him out?
Could Eric take out 4?
No, you and Theo.
I mopped the floor with Theo.
That's what I wanted. That's what the fans want to know.
Yeah.
Who would be
I don't think there's
down?
any dispute.
You would win between Jai and Theo, or
Mhm.
Eric and Ford?
No, Jai and Theo.
I'm pretty sure I saw Theo smack you up pretty good once or twice.
What do you call that?
Well, Theo
Try
has
to
some pretty
kiss
good
me.
boxing training.
Yeah, that might be part of it.
I thought that was a European thing.
I'm not European.
Wait.
That's a European.
We're just making
We're just messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No chance.
No chance, okay.
He would stand no chance.
What character
This
is?
is gonna be the final question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so-
What like actor is like closest to their character? Would you say like throughout the set? Like, which one tends to? like related to their character the most? Like,
Yeah, I would say like is most similar to their character in the movie.
Christian was very Al. He was very Al-ish.
Christian
I
is
just kept
Al.
calling him Eeyore because it's like, oh, Al's upset today. Sorry, Al.
What's up, dude?
Christian's the one you said wouldn't survive the zombie apocalypse.
Who
Did I
said
say
that?
Everybody else, yeah. Everybody else in the.
Yeah, because Al is
Ben
he's
Lloyd
a-
Hughes
he's a
wouldn't
jumper,
survive
mate.
either.
Al's a jumper. He's a cop out.
The one that wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
Poor Al.
In the movie, does it come across that Al's like in love with Tris? I heard they kind of.
In the
Like
book a
brush
little
over
bit.
that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
touch on it, not much in the movie though.
Yeah, the movie kind of.
Not,
Yeah.
not really.
It wasn't super important.
But Zoe was pissed because she.
Zoe's kinda
she had
close to
kiss,
Christina.
She had to kiss.
She's pretty candid and like,
Yeah.
you know,
Zoe's much more
yeah. Well, she's
rock star,
Yeah.
you know, spunky than
Yeah.
Christina. But what was you saying? Oh, Zoe's pissed because her and Ben kissed. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bunch, and I don't think it's
Bet
in
to
the
kiss
movie at
all
all.
day.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And they kissed like a bunch of times, and she kept having him spray mouth spray in his mouth.
Smell toys.
And I think Shay is Shay's a.
Well, Shay, but I think Shay has an ability to like. She really makes her characters real, and I don't just mean in this. You know, she's got a. She kind of, you know, the truth that she finds with you know, even just as simple as the text, the words she's saying, she won't say it unless it feels like it's really coming out of her mouth, and so.
Oh, Neil will make it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's a funny thing with acting because there's that constant struggle to transform and arrive with like none of your preconceived kind of things that you carry around as a person. But then all your choices are really based on, you know, your instincts and you know, are relative to what you know to be a certain emotion or experience or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a funny thing. I remember I said once something about, you know, every character I play, I try and, you know, bring it back to myself and my shit, and then feeling embarrassed when I read a quote about Christian Bale, who I totally admire, saying something like, it's all about having none of yourself in there. It was like, fuck, man.
Well, relate to it, but none of your own like mannerisms.
Exactly. Yeah. So look, yeah, but I think it's like those things. It's grey area.
Christian Bale's a flash in the pan, man. You're gonna want to
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we have time for.
Thank you guys.
We're coming, guys.
So you guys like Shaylena's Tris and
Oh,
Fiona's
yeah.
Ford,
So
yeah?
good. So good.
Yeah, they're recasting 4 for the next movie.
Oh,